Mexico is a country with a thriving cultural scene, stunning scenery, and a deep and ancient history. Even though you may believe you know a lot about this fascinating nation, there is still a great deal to learn. We're going to take you on a journey to uncover 15 things you didn't know about Mexico, covering everything from modern customs to ancient civilizations, delectable food to hidden treasures. First of all, Mexico is not its true name. The official name of Mexico is the United States of Mexico, or Estados Unidos Mexicanos in Spanish. Yes, it's a federation of states rather than just Mexico. There are 31 states in Mexico, and each has a distinct history, culture, and customs. Think of it as the individual states that make up the US. There is so much variety to discover, from the lively beaches of Cancun to the fascinating history of Mexico City. You might be surprised to learn that every state in Mexico has its own laws, rules, and police force, just like every state in the United States. Thus, in America, moving from one state to another is equivalent to crossing state lines. For a smooth trip, it's critical to understand the local laws. Your phone is essentially always roaming when you're in a state other than your home state. This implies that while visiting various parts of Mexico, you may notice some changes in your phone plan, a small but amusing detail that highlights how vast and varied this nation is. Second, Mexico City did not become the nation's capital until 2016. It makes sense that most people believe Mexico City to be the country's capital for a very long time. Just the name implies it, but the real capital was located in a region called Distrito Federal, or simply DF. In daily speech, we simply referred to it as Mexico City, so Mexico City and Distrito Federal were essentially used interchangeably. The city formally changed its name in 2016, and this was no small alteration. Ciudad de Mexico, or CDMX, is the new official moniker. It was an action to further bolster this dynamic city's identity. Thus, keep in mind that CDMX refers to the capital of Mexico. You may be asking yourself, is Mexico City still in Mexico at this point? Yes, but allow me to clarify why it might be a little unclear. As you can see, the Mexico City metropolitan area extends into portions of the state of Mexico, as well as the Distrito Federal. Therefore, in this area, you are, by definition, in the capital, but only those who call Distrito Federal home can truly claim to be citizens of the nation's capital. It's one of those fascinating geographical peculiarities that adds character to the administrative divisions of Mexico. Third, the majority of immigrants in Mexico are Americans. The U.S. State Department reports that 1.6 million U.S. citizens have settled in Mexico. That's a sizable community, and communication there is two-way. Mexico is the most popular travel destination for Americans, drawing a lot of people looking for exciting new experiences. Why is this trending? There are numerous explanations. The vibrant communities, breathtaking landscapes, and rich culture of Mexico attract certain individuals. For some, however, living expenses are more manageable, enabling them to extend their retirement funds or embark on new endeavors. This is a startling statistic. Approximately 800,000 U.S. citizens were found to reside in Mexico, according to data from the 2020 census. Of them, children born to American parents between the ages of 5 and 19 make up nearly 500,000. Mexico draws visitors from all walks of life, from young families seeking adventure to retirees seeking peace and quiet. This is due to the country's amazing diversity and friendly hospitality. Mexico has communities that thrive everywhere in the nation, from the sunny beaches of Baja California to the busy streets of Mexico City. There is a place for everyone in Mexico. It genuinely demonstrates the close ties that exist between our two countries. Fourthly, there are 34 UNESCO World Heritage Sites in Mexico. Mexico is home to 34 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, which attest to its immense wealth of natural beauty, history, and culture. When it comes to the total number of these sites, it actually comes in 7th place worldwide. There are 3 types of UNESCO World Heritage Sites: mixed, natural, and cultural. Let's dissect that a little bit. The natural sites are the first in line. There are 6 of these in Mexico, and they are simply amazing. Envision immaculate topographies, varied biomes, and unparalleled scenic splendor. These include locations where millions of butterflies migrate annually, such as the Monarch Butterfly Biosphere Reserve and the Calakmul Biosphere Reserve. Lover of the outdoors, Mexico has plenty to offer. The cultural sites come next, and Mexico is home to 27 of them. These are the locations where culture, architecture, and history come together to create something genuinely remarkable. The historic districts of Guanajuato, Mexico City, and Puebla are a few noteworthy examples. These cities, with their gorgeous architecture and cobblestone streets, are like living museums, displaying centuries worth of history. One location fits into both categories: Oaxaca's historic center and Monte Alban's archaeological archaeological site. This distinctive location blends natural and cultural elements, providing a window into the region's rich history. Beyond the obvious, Mexico has UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Consider the ancient ruins of Chichen Itza and the agave fields that produce tequila. These sites are examples of archaeological remains that convey the tale of past civilizations and their amazing accomplishments. Fifth, the buses and metro in Mexico have women-only carriages. Let's talk about a prevalent misconception that Mexican women are abused all the time. In actuality, Mexican women enjoy a number of rights designed to ensure their safety. Women-only buses and dedicated subway sections are in place in Mexico City. This is a significant step in assuring female commuters comfort and safety. Now let's examine Turkey. Sadly, Turkish women have to deal with a different reality than women in Mexico, where attempts have been made to protect them while using public transportation. There, they frequently face harassment in the absence of any particular safeguards. The glaring difference between these two nations is that the government hasn't even thought of setting up a section exclusively for women. Let's now discuss a cultural factor that supports women's perceptions of privilege in Mexico. Mexican males are renowned for being caballeros. This indicates that they behave in a chivalrous manner, which includes holding doors open for women, picking them up prior to a meeting or date, and frequently paying for costs. It's a cultural norm that upholds the value of showing women respect and consideration. Even though there are women-only sections of the subway, many women actually prefer to use the general sections, according to a 2020 study done in Mexico City. Why? It appears that men in these places are more likely to politely offer women a seat, a behavior that isn't always repeated in the carriages reserved for women. This clarifies how individual preferences can be influenced by cultural dynamics. Sixth, Mexico City is falling each year. Mexico City is a city rich in significance and history. It is the highest elevation city in North America and the oldest city overall. Its construction on the ancient ruins of the Aztec city Tenochtitlan, which was located on a sizable lake, is what distinguishes it even further. Imagine that centuries of history are buried beneath the surface of the very ground we walk on today. Understanding the difficulties of living on a lake, the Aztecs cleverly designed an intricate network of dikes and canals to regulate flooding. Spanish settlers were confronted by the wonders of Aztec engineering, but their vision was different. They chose to drain the lake bed rather than keep up this complex system. The Spanish started the massive undertaking of reclaiming land from the lake because they were shocked by the amount of work needed to maintain their aquatic way of life. This choice ultimately had a significant impact on Mexico City's future. In the present day, we are seeing the results of that momentous decision. Mexico City is sinking every year by 6 to 8 inches, not inches. Why? The reason for this is the widespread usage of pumps that extract water to support the expanding population of the city. The very earth beneath us is progressively collapsing, a sign of the fine balance that exists between the relentlessness of nature and human progress. Seventh, the smallest volcano in the world is located in Mexico. Mexico is located precisely in the center of the Ring of Fire. It's something even more amazing than a flaming hula hoop, though. The Circum-Pacific Belt, sometimes referred to as the Ring of Fire, is the epicenter of 81% of all volcanic eruptions and nearly 90% of all earthquakes worldwide. It resembles the epicenter of geological activity. The volcano rabbit is a creature found in Mexico that is just as fascinating as its name implies. This bunny is unlike any other that you might find in your backyard. It's the only place in the world where you can find this little guy living close to a volcano. Consider living next door to Cuicatlan, the smallest volcano in the world. Imagine this. It's only 43 feet tall, and it is situated just outside the quaint city of Puebla. That is comparable to a tiny hill in the context of volcanoes. You won't believe Cuicatlan is a volcano because it is so adorable. Even though this small volcano isn't erupting lava or producing enormous smoke plumes, it is still an amazing piece of geology. It is truly accessible, and I assure you that entering will be an unforgettable experience. The crater is small, and you can admire the strata of rock that have been forming for millions of years. Eighth, a Mexican inventor developed the first birth control method ever, introducing Luis Ernesto Miramontes Cárdenas, a talented 25-year-old Mexican chemist who accomplished something genuinely revolutionary in the medical field. He set out on a remarkable journey in 1951 with other scientists that would forever alter the course of reproductive health. The chemical compound norethindrone was successfully synthesized by Miramontes and his team. Later on, this substance would be the primary ingredient in the first birth control tablets. Imagine that a straightforward chemical structure developed in a lab could completely transform family planning globally. This was truly a revolutionary invention. Well, people had a dependable and practical method of contraception for the first time. It empowered women to take charge of their reproductive decisions, directing the trajectory of their lives and careers. It demonstrates the creativity and foresight of Miramontes and his group. The landscape of women's health underwent a fundamental shift with the advent of birth control. In addition to offering a method of family planning, it was instrumental in lowering the number of unwanted pregnancies and freeing women from the restrictions of unexpected motherhood to pursue their careers and education. 9. There are 59 endemic corn varieties in Mexico. For centuries, maize, also referred to as corn, has played a fundamental role in Mexican culture. The custom of raising and conserving these varied kinds has been handed down through families, guaranteeing their continued existence for many generations. How did so many different types of corn originate in Mexico? It all started with native Mesoamerican civilizations thousands of years ago. Their carefully chosen intended corn produced a rainbow of hues, forms, and tastes. When we fast forward to the present, Mexican farmers continue to be unwavering in their dedication to protecting this amazing legacy, even in the face of obstacles from international trade and genetically modified crops. Corn is more than just a crop to us. It's a component of our identity. Every variety embodies a different aspect of our identity, culture, and history. It's a living example of the close bond that exists between humans and the land, and much more than just a source of food. From the butcher to the small baby blue, everyone has a distinct flavor and texture. You've never eaten corn like this, I assure you. Regarding that, there are a plethora of incredible culinary options. The versatility of these corn varieties is a true culinary adventure, as they can be used to make tamales, tortillas, and even unusual beverages. Number 10. Mexico is home to 68 different indigenous languages. It may surprise you to learn that there are 68 official indigenous languages in Mexico. Yes, that is true, and it is among the amazing country's surprising facts. Although the majority of official and commercial communications are conducted in Spanish, there are actually 68 indigenous languages recognized by Mexican law. Not only that, though, there are many varieties among these 68 languages, making the total number of native dialects almost 200. Many of these native tongues are in danger of going extinct because they are only spoken by the elder generations in small, close-knit communities. The preservation of these priceless linguistic legacies is a race against time. Consider the languages that have been passed down through the ages and are currently in danger of disappearing. It serves as a sobering reminder of how crucial cultural preservation is. These languages serve as windows into rich cultures, customs, and histories in addition to being a means of communication. Every language has its own viewpoint, its own way of looking at the world. It's similar to discovering a completely new level of comprehension. Mexico's cultural mosaic relies heavily on these languages for everything from music to art, rituals to storytelling. What then can we do to assist? It's easy. Talk about it, share this video, raise awareness, and most importantly, back programs that work to save and revive these endangered languages. By working together, we can ensure that these languages survive and flourish for many more generations.